Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Josiah Makombe. I am aged 54 and a family man and a politician with various positions. That includes being the provincial chairperson of my party, led by Advocate, the right President Nelson Chamisa. Well, the doctorate is all about philanthropic work, which I was given by the International Institute of Philanthropy together with the Human University for the good work that I have been doing here in Gweru and the nation at large in terms of reaching out to the less privileged members of our society. Something that did not start when I was in office, but something that started long back because I have a history of being in business, and you know when you're in business you give back to the community, and that has been my strength in terms of making sure that the less privileged get a hand from those that are privileged at the time. Well, I think it was long overdue because number one, when the Supreme Court judgment came out, I did not subscribe to it, and I made it clear that I'm not going to attend the Congress, and because of that, you know, the Monzora outfit had to target those that did not support them. And as you are aware that I'm the provincial chairperson of Midlands, one of the biggest provinces, largely rural, from Berengwa to Gokwe. Obviously, it was going to be very difficult for them to penetrate in terms of coming up with structures within their party. And I've been a stumbling block, and they just thought, no, this is the right person to get rid of, so that at least we can put one of ours who can, promote their interest. So it was actually coming just because of that. It was targeted, as you know, that the MDCT led by Monzora and ZANU-PF are one thing, and if you don't dance to their tune, what they will do is they will recall you. So being the mayor, and not only the mayor, but also the president of the Urban Councils Association of Zimbabwe, I obviously, they saw that I had influence, and to make sure that they get rid of me. And I wasn't surprised. You know, one thing that Zimbabwe need to know is that UCAS has been in existence for the past 95 years, but it has been a sleeping giant. When it was formed, the idea was to make sure that they look at issues to do with service delivery to all its members, especially those in the urban. And for now, it has got 32 members. And it has not been easy, especially where ZANU-PF wants to dominate in the urban local authorities, where the minister wants to run the local authorities through directives and circulars. And as UCAS, who has always been at loggerheads with the minister, always writing him letters, always seeking audience with him to say, this is unconstitutional and you are not supposed to be doing that. So at the end of the day, as UCAS, we were trying to look at our members' interest. But the minister obviously was, to some extent, seeing UCAS as a competitor to his powers. But UCAS was only trying to safeguard the interests of its members to make sure that they provide service delivery to the residents across all the cities in Zimbabwe. I think I learned just one or two things, that there is power in unity and in numbers. You know, as a local authority, if you sit down and pass a resolution, the minister can, at any given time, rescind your resolution within 3 months if he wants. But we had a platform where those that were not strong enough, especially small urban local authorities who could not stand up and talk to the minister, we were the voice as UCAS. And I think we did very well during my tenure because we managed to drag the minister to the table, to even an extent of demanding to see the president of the country, Emmerson Mnangagwa, on 3 occasions. and giving him, what is really happening in the urban local authorities. And I must emphasize today that the ERRP was the brainchild of the Urban Council Association, where we wrote a letter that because of the excessive rains in the country, most roads were affected. We wanted the ministry to direct the Ministry of Finance to give us our devolution funds so that we can embark on road construction. And when that letter was taken to cabinet, ZANU-PF decided to hijack the project, and now they are now at local authorities competing with urban local authorities in trying to fix potholes and all that. Something that UCAS has been trying to make sure that government need to understand that we are together in terms of service delivery. We cannot do it alone without them providing the necessary resources and grants. But what has been happening is that they've been making sure that local authorities are not capacitated in terms of resources, in terms of money that is supposed to be remitted by Zinara, in terms of devolution funds. And UCAS was the voice to say, no, this is not in order. You need to give us the monies. You need to come up with a formula that that is supposed to be used by Zinara in terms of the disbursement of funds. So as UCAS, I think I learned that in terms of numbers, in terms of having people with the voice, you can defeat the dictator. And we were almost there, and that's why this recall had to come, because we were taking the minister at loggerheads here and there. I know that on the historic event when the commission was done, I was not there. But I'm not worried, because I did not do it for Mnangagwa, or neither for that occasion. I did it for the people of Gweru, and those that are benefiting there knows that their mayor managed to pioneer this kind of project, and I'm proud of that. The recall, like I said, was timed. The letter was saved on a Sunday, and the instruction was to say he should not appear at the commission. And I just laughed it off and said, look, this was just a commissioning. Otherwise, the job has been done. And Gweruians are happy that we managed to give them a state-of-the-art bus terminal. The first thing that people need to understand is that there are two centers of power in the urban local authorities. The first center is headed by the town clerk, who is the accounting officer, who is the one who distributes resources and manpower for any work that has to be done. And the second power is presumed to be with the mayor. And if you look at the powers of the mayor in the Urban Councils Act, they are merely to chair council meetings and pass resolutions, and that's it. And you can only do it once. You remember, full council meetings are done once in a month. But what happens during the from the 1st to the 30th it's not within the powers of the mayor or the councillors. You just have to wait until the end of the month when you get a report from the town clerk. So because of that, ZANU-PF created a vacuum so that at least there are two centers of power. That's why they took away the executive mayor, because the executive mayor was the accounting officer. The executive mayor was the person who would even distribute resources, who would even allocate duties to the directors and all that. But because that one was taken away, leaving the office of the mayor as a ceremonial mayor just to chair council meetings, nothing else. And because of that, all the challenges that you are facing, it's propaganda where they will say the MDC or whatever, the opposition have failed to run local authorities. They are not running the local authorities. The local authorities are being run by central government, because the employment of the town clerk is done by the government body, the local government body. And mind you, at ARDC, which is the rural, there is no local government body. When they want to employ a chief executive, they employ. Okay, but when it comes to the urban local authorities, when you want to employ, you have to shortlist 3 people, take them to the local government board. They do their vetting, security vetting. If you don't belong to ZANU-PF, you will not get the job. So at the end of the day, you have ZANU-PF running all things in the urban local authorities through the appointments of the town clerks and the directors. And this is one of the biggest challenges that we have. So that's why you see that we have got challenges. And I want to tell you that it's not that all the 32 local authorities are being run by people who do not have the skill. is the system that was put in place to make sure that the opposition does not prosper, to make sure that the opposition does not deliver. So these are the challenges that we discussed. These are the challenges that we realized as I was the president of the Urban Councils Association. And what worries me most is that most people are not aware of these things that is taking place. They always hammer at the opposition to say you are failing, and yet the councillors and the mayor do not have the powers to run the local authority. And even if the town clerk does not perform, you don't fire him there and then. You have to seek authority from the local government body to say, okay, you can fire someone whom you would have seen that is incompetent or is not doing very well. So these are some of the challenges that the local authorities are facing, and that's why even service delivery is. The abolition of executive mayors was done when ZANU-PF discovered that the opposition was taking over in urban local authorities. It was a political decision. They should not fool anyone to say it was for the good of the residents. No, it was a political decision to make sure that the people who would run the local authorities on a daily basis are the town clerks, and made sure that the town clerks are employed by central government. The minister involved, because he's the one who appoints the local government body. So whatever happens at the local government body has the blessing of the minister, and the minister is ZANU-PF. So you can actually read that it was done to make sure that they maintain power, and they maintain the dictates of whatever happens in the local authorities through the executive led by the town. It was not easy, my brother. Like I said, you have to look at the duties of the mayor and the expectations of the people within Gweru. When people elect you, they expect you to deliver at the end of the day, not knowing what is in council. Because of propaganda, they are told the mayor is the one who runs everything. And when you get there, you find out that things are not as rosy as you think. It's not a straight jacket. Whenever you have your own programs, the town clerk will tell you that we don't have money, we don't have the resources. And mind you, the mayor has no access to any information of the local authority. The mayor does not even have sight of the bank accounts of the local authority. The mayor does not have even sight of the procurement processes that takes place in a local authority. So because of that, there were so many challenges. But being a politician, sometimes you have to bulldoze. We had to find our ways of trying to make sure that we have service delivery, and that's why when I got into office, I had to make it clear that if one of the directors or the town clerk is not performing, we will fight the issue by making sure that they pack their bags and go. And we managed to do that. Though the issues are not yet over, like I said, it still needs the approval of the local government body. The Gweru City Council had not been having a substantive town clerk for the past 2 years or so. But hard as it may, we also managed to make sure that we deliver as per our promise in terms of projects, in terms of key issues, especially for water, which Gweru City Council was faced with water challenges even now. But we managed it under very difficult circumstances to make sure that we try our best in procuring some pumps for Gwenoro. And we have been trying also to make sure that we upgrade the water reticulation plant at Gwenoro as well as White Waters. But it has not been easy because of the two standards of power that I've said. One, what you need to understand is that when you are elected as a councillor, obviously you give promises to the people that this is what I'm going to do. A year is quite a time for me to finish off some of the key projects that I had promised the people of this one. Number one, I had promised them a clinic. We managed to come together, myself, council, and also the Honourable Member of Parliament, to construct a clinic that is not yet operational, because I am no longer in the council. If I am in council, I will make sure that I will make it happen in terms of procurement of whatever is needed in that clinic. So we don't want that clinic to be a white elephant. We want it working. So if I am not in the office, I don't think that that clinic who operate. Number two, we still have got a lot of challenges. Roads, there are potholes everywhere, and I'm sure within a year I can make a difference. As you know, that when I was elected, I had a 5-year plan that this has to be undertaken by the end of 5 years. And obviously, I still need to make sure that I try by all means to fulfill some of the promises that I gave to the residents of Ward 2. So I think it's very important for me to go back there. And mind you, I was elected to be a councillor, not to be a mayor. So being a mayor was another, accolade that I was given. But the people of Ward 2 elected me as their councillor, so I can represent them as a councillor, not as a mayor. So I will still be doing exactly what they elected me for in 2018. For now, one thing that I need to stress out is that we are having by-elections across the country. Even myself, I'm also, like we have said, I'm also running for to be re-elected as a councillor. What I've realized is that there's been a lot of inconsistency in terms of ZEC. I've got the voters roll for 2018 and the voters roll for the current one which they gave us. If you analyze the two, you'd find out that in my ward we had about 6,800 people in 2018 who were registered voters in this ward. But now they've gone down to 6,700. More than 120 people are missing. And I've been trying to look at some of the names, and what I've realized that some of the people who are missing in the voters roll are still alive. So you then wonder what's going on. Is it a mistake or is it a deliberate way of trying to rig the elections? And as you know that it's happening as well in Kwekwe, where so many people were registered at one house, and it's not good for ZEC. They need to make sure that they run a credible election, an election that every Zimbabwean so wish to see happening in Zimbabwe, like other countries here in Southern Africa, where the election body does things above board, and we urge ZEC to do the same. They should not be partisan. They should not be, an alliance to ZANU-PF. So these are some of the things that I think the people need to know, that there has been a lot of voter manipulation. And lastly, as you know, that I'm the chairman of Midlands Province. I've been to Gokwe. I've realized that people have been displaced from their voting polling stations. Quite a number of Masabuku and their people, they were displaced. The last time they were voting at a certain school, and now they've been put to another school, and it will be very difficult for them to travel to a polling station that is far away from their homes. And this is being done to frustrate voters. If you go to your nearest polling station and your name is not there, and you are told that you have to go to the next polling station, and mind you, in the rural areas, the next polling station will be probably 5 kilometers away, and that will frustrate a lot of people, to find where their names are and cast their votes.